Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here joining me today. VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. It's one of the most popular ETFs in the world, managing over $1 trillion. But as we step into 2025, investors are asking, is VOO still a good buy? With market volatility, high interest rates, and new ETFs popping up every month, it's fair to ask if VOO still deserves a spot in your portfolio. In this full 9-minute breakdown, we'll go deep into what makes VOO tick, from its performance, dividends, and valuation to risks, forecasts, and whether you should buy, hold, or look elsewhere. Hello viewers, if you're enjoying this content, and you do not want to miss future videos filled with even more tips, tricks, and inspiration, hit that subscribe button now to stay tuned with us, and remember to comment and share. To understand why VOO is such a big deal, we need to go back to what it represents, the S&P 500 Index. This index includes 500 of America's largest public companies, names like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Nvidia. When you buy VOO, you're not just buying one stock, you're owning a piece of the U.S. economy. Investors love VOO because it's simple. It gives you instant diversification, minimal fees, and almost perfect tracking of the S&P 500. It's not flashy. It doesn't chase fads. But over the long run, that's been its strength. If you had invested $10,000 in VOO when it launched back in 2010, by late 2025 you'd have around $45,000 to $50,000, depending on reinvested dividends. That's the power of compounding. So, what's actually inside VOO? VOO holds all 500 companies from the S&P 500, weighted by their market size. That means bigger companies get a bigger slice of the pie. Right now, the top holdings are dominated by the tech giants, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, and Tesla. Together, these top names make up over 30% of the ETF's weight, a level of concentration we've rarely seen before. Sector-wise, tech leads at about 30%, followed by healthcare, financials, and consumer discretionary. It's well diversified on paper, but make no mistake, the S&P 500 is heavily tilted toward technology. VOO has delivered strong long-term returns. Over the past 5 years, it's averaged about 12% to 14% annually, depending on when you bought in. 2023 and 2024 were comeback years after the 2022 bear market, thanks to the AI boom and earnings rebound. As of November 2025, VOO's year-to-date return is around 15%, putting it near record highs. Its assets under management have grown to roughly $1.40 to $1.5 trillion, showing massive investor trust. But here's the key insight. Most of that return has come from a handful of mega-cap stocks. If those leaders stumble, VOO's returns could cool off fast. That's something every investor needs to keep in mind for 2026. One of the biggest reasons people hold VOO is cost. VOO's expense ratio is only 0.03%, which means for every $10,000 you invest, you pay just $3 a year in fees. That's cheaper than almost every mutual fund, and cheaper than most ETFs too. Next, dividends. VOO currently yields around 1.1% paid quarterly. It's not huge, but remember, VOO focuses on total return, not just income. And those dividends tend to grow over time as corporate earnings grow. Finally, taxes. Because VOO is structured as an ETF, it's incredibly tax efficient. Vanguard's creation and redemption mechanism minimizes taxable capital gains. For long-term investors in taxable accounts, this efficiency makes a big difference over decades. No investment is risk-free, and VOO is no exception. Let's talk about what could go wrong. First, concentration risk. The top 10 holdings now represent over 30% of the ETF. That means your performance is tied closely to the fate of big tech. If the Magnificent Seven stumble, Your VOO performance could take a hit. Second, valuation risk. The S&P 500 is trading at about 22-25 times earnings, which is above historical averages. That doesn't mean a crash is imminent, but it does suggest lower future returns if earnings don't grow fast enough. Third, macro risk. We still have high interest rates, uncertain inflation trends, and potential recession worries. If rates stay elevated or GDP slows, valuations could compress. So while VOO is strong long-term, short-term drawdowns are possible. And they can be sharp. What if you want something like VOO but a little different? Let's look at your options. VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. It includes small and mid-cap companies, giving you a broader slice of the U.S. market. IVV and SPY, nearly identical to VOO, just issued by different companies. QQQ, more growth-focused, tracking the NASDAQ 100. It's tech-heavy and can outperform in bull markets, but more volatile. SCHD focuses on dividend-paying, high-quality stocks. SCHG, growth tilt for those who want more exposure to innovation. A balanced investor might use VOO for stability and QQQ or SCHG for higher growth potential. It's not about finding the best ETF. It's about matching your ETF to your strategy. Let's talk about how VOO fits in real portfolios. For retirement investors, VOO is often the core, maybe 40% to 60% of your equities, paired with bonds, small caps, and some international exposure. For taxable accounts, it's ideal because of its efficiency and low turnover. If you're doing dollar cost averaging, VOO works great because it's stable, broad, and historically rewards long-term investors. Here are 3 quick examples. Conservative investor, 40% bonds, 30% VOO, 20% SCHD, 10% cash. Balanced investor, 50% VOO, 20% QQQ, 20% bonds, 10% international. Aggressive investor, 60% VOO, 30% QQQ, 10% small caps. No matter the mix, VOO often acts as the backbone of a well-built portfolio. Now the big question, what might happen next? Let's break it into 3 scenarios: bullish, base, and bearish. Bullish case. If inflation continues to cool and rates begin to fall, corporate earnings could expand, pushing the S&P 500 up another 10-20% in total return next year. Base case. The economy slows but avoids recession. Earnings grow moderately. In that case, expect around 4-8% annual total return, typical for a mature bull market. Bearish case. If earnings fall or valuations compress due to stubborn inflation, we could see a 10-25% correction. That would likely be a buying opportunity for long-term investors. Remember, no one can predict exact outcomes. The key is having a plan that works across scenarios. Before you decide whether to buy or add to VOO, here's a quick checklist. Time horizon. Can you hold for 5+ years? Diversification. Is VOO your only ETF or part of a mix? Risk tolerance. Are you comfortable with 20-30% drops? Tax efficiency. Are you using tax-advantaged accounts effectively? Valuation awareness. Don't chase highs. DCA when possible. If you can check those boxes, VOO is still one of the best long-term, low-cost ways to build wealth. So is VOO still a good buy in 2025? For most investors, the answer is yes. VOO remains one of the best core ETFs for long-term growth, simplicity, and diversification. But it's not perfect. The heavy tech exposure and high valuations mean future returns could be lower than the past decade. Still, for building steady wealth, it's hard to beat a globally trusted, ultra-low-cost ETF like VOO. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives on ETFs and income strategies, and comment below. Do you still hold VOO, or have you switched to something else? I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and as always, invest smart, invest steady.